Yeah, what up YouTube? What up URL fans? Summer Madness 2. The battles are finally over. All of them dropped. And what is it? It's November 11th, 2012. These battles started in August. I think it was like August 18th. So it took a while. But he finally released a Verb versus TREX. This, a lot of people seem to not like the battle, maybe because of the crowd biased or because of maybe the quality of bars. I thought it was a good battle. It was definitely better than Enes versus DNA. It was definitely better than Mook versus Iron. So this was a good battle. Rex left with 10K, so you know who won the battle, but let's break it down. Let's get into it, and let's get into the crowd bias as well, and what transpired as a result of that. So Rex, they flip the coin. Rex tries to pull some shit like Charlie Clips, where he's rapping before the coin flips, but Verb is like, nah, fuck that. It's gonna be heads. But then it's tails, and Rex goes anyway. So Rex round one. When the tech go, you'll hear an echo. That's a reverb. And then that was alright. I'm a rapper and a shooter like G. Ali. I'm gonna break down his name. Everybody in the V gonna be in the ERB. So that was pretty good, And he was building the crowd up for this line, Yo, Diddy, I'ma confess to the body. 10 years later, I'm like G-Dep. And that shit had the crowd going crazy. So round one for Rex was like pure street shit, man. The whole round was just straight street rap, shit out of the gutter. And the thing about Rex is K-Shine's fucking annoying. Saying get that nigga Rex every goddamn bar. Like that shit is annoying as hell. And he was probably the biggest hype man of Summer Madness. So Verb starts out, he goes crazy too. The crowd's definitely feeling what Verb's saying. He has this algebra trigonometry scheme. It's pretty dope. He goes into this line, Rex, you an imposter, King of Lion, Mufasa. Crowd goes nuts. Like, they just go crazy. That was dope. But the thing is, that was pretty much the dopest shit he had in the round. It's definitely close, but you could certainly edge it to T-Rex, or you could call it a draw, because both the rounds were crazy. And it was crazy enough for P. Diddy to put up 10 stacks for the next two rounds. So here we go, 10 stacks on the line. It's on Rex, round two. And then he starts off with this line. It's pretty decent, I ain't gonna rap about this nigga wave or his haircut, cause I can wave a blade and get everybody in here cut. That was pretty nice, I like that. That was a solid line. He said some decent shit, I'll paralyze him and make him appreciate standing up. I thought that was pretty good. Clap him with the left, switch the hand, and then snap a picture of him, put it on Instagram. That shit was good too. So Rex going in hard round two. The crowd's definitely feeling him. And then he goes into this scheme about, like, relax with Rex. Then the killers will be at your neck. And the killers will be pointing at your Apple Tech, and then Tech 9 shows up. He's like, get that nigga Rex. Like, it's so fucking annoying, but it was surprising to see Tech 9 just show up in his round. And then he was like, well, my shooter's gonna come from Philly. Guess who's gonna spill his apple? It's Tech. So he did that in a slow it down scheme too, so it was decent. And then of course he ends the round where he's like, Mook got 10K to kill a nigga that's ill. For that 10K Diddy, I'll kill this nigga for real. And then fucking crowd goes nuts. It was dope. And that was his round two. And the thing about Verb is, he didn't have much of a round two. It ended short. But what happened is Verb goes in. He starts rapping. And then something about what comes around goes around. And he just starts getting booed, He just gets booed immediately. I think he kept on rapping a bit, and he used the big T line, where it's like, he sounds some like retarded shit. And then he says something about ill, he stumbles a bit, and the crowd gets on him again, and then he starts booing him. And then, like, this is the second time crowd's booing him. He's turning to smack and shit, and he's trying to get him to say something. So then he goes into this scheme about addressing Rex's loyalties. like X Factor did to him. You know, because how Rex went to Battle America, and he kind of compared Rex to Hitman Holla because they have some similarities. They're both pretty street rappers, and you know, Seneca just wanted him to promote Battle America. So I don't know, somewhere along round 2, Rex gets a little too close to Averb, and then Averb shrugs him off, and he's kind of just pushes him off. But then Verb just stops, and he turns to Smack, and he's like, "You see what's going on here, Smack?" And then that just causes a fucking commotion. And then, you know, a lot of people, you know, both of them have their entourages. They start arguing, and the round, it seems like it ends. But then, you know, then Diddy, you know, interrupts everything. He's like, "Yo, Diddy, Verb, yo, keep rhyming," because Verb was ready to stop the round. He almost seemed like he was gonna finish the round, but then Diddy was like, "Nah, yo, keep rapping." So then Verb keeps rapping, and he got the crowd back on his side. You know, he talked about how Rex and K-Shine, while they were in St. Louis, they were buying pussy. So they was, you know, sleeping with hookers, and he's like, "Well, they bought some pussy, and then Good bought some pussy too, you know, goods." So the pussy stocks rises in St. Louis where niggas visit. So that was decent. You know, definitely got the crowd back on the good side. And he talked about real beef, and then he goes into a funny scheme about how T-Rex's girl was bending at yoga class, and then he bended her after the yoga class. It was alright, but then he ends the round. So, you know, not too much was said, and you have to give the round to Rex. So, round 3, Rex rebuttals the crowd booing him, and he's like, you know, the crowd doesn't want to hear bullshit, you know. Battling here is a lose-lose. 2 years in a row, Summer Madness, Smack needs a sacrificial lamb, and he chose you, you know, that shit was alright. And Rex goes in about the whole picture blog, where Averb did a blog about Rex, you know, sending his junk to some girl. And, you know, Rex just spin that around, because, you know, what were you doing, Averb? You know, did you have spandex on when you looked at that picture and said, "Damn, Rex," you know, and then he turned it into him killing Averb. And all the doctors are standing around the body saying, "Damn, Rex." So, like, it was a solid scheme, and definitely got the crowd on his side. Then he talked about how Verb's a snitch, and about how he talks to the police, and they cartooned the police because he's like, he gave the Blues clues. That shit was okay. It wasn't that good. But the crowd still kind of cheered for him, so it shows bias. But then, you know, Rex gets into this scheme about how, you know, he's killing Averb and the judge is going to give him man 1. And he's like, "No, the judge is going to give me man 2 because I killed your man 2. And the crowd goes nuts. And they knew the scheme because they were, like, saying it out loud. So, clearly fucking, either it was a bar he did before, but the crowd went nuts for it. And it was a dope scheme. And then he does this other one where he's killing Averb, and then K-Shine ends the bar with, and he's like, "Get that nigga Rex," and it was okay. But then Rex ends the round with, "I'ma cock it, pop it, and empty the tray 8. Then I'ma stand over his body with the Stevie J face," and the crowd went crazy for that shit too. So, you know, Rex had a serious round 3, and definitely, you know, the crowd went bananas for it, right? They were cheering him all the way, and, you know, it's on Averb, and he's in a tough spot here. He starts to go in, the crowd boos him immediately, so, like, that's complete bias on the New York crowd, which could have been expected, but they certainly didn't give him a chance. And then Averb turns to Smack, and he's like, "Yo, you gotta say something, Smack." And then Smack sounds like International P when he's like, hold it down. So this shit was funny. But then, you know, Verb is able to go in, and the crowd doesn't bother him for the rest of the round. So he's like, "Yo, Rex, yo, you were giving me all the information when I battled Math." And then he's like, "Well, you look just like a rat, but you don't got a tail." And then he does a slow it down on that, like an ugly joke. Because you look just like a rat, but you don't got a tail. So it was decent. And then he went in about how other dudes treated his baby mom, and he rips him for not being a good father. and that was pretty much the hardest shit in the round. But his round was pretty short. It was only about 2 minutes. So overall, he ended the round right there. So it's hard to give it to him, considering how much the crowd was feeling Rex in his round. So overall, I don't base Rex winning on the crowd, but just in terms of exciting the room and the environment, and just bringing out shit that like got your attention. I have to say Verb can win it 3-0 or 2-1, but either way, you got to give it to Verb off that shit. He did leave the battle with 10K, and Rex got it. Overall, I think both of their stocks will rise as battle rappers, and obviously Rex's popularity will increase dramatically, and I think Aver's popularity will increase as well. Overall, this was a solid battle, and Rex got it. P Diddy, announced him the winner. So it is what it is, guys. Peace out. Take care.